This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast, number one podcast in Oakland, the number one podcast in the Bay Area. Today we have a special guest. She is one of the top bartenders in the Bay Area. She is a songstress, and she is, I don't know, we're going to find out some more shit about her. And find out why she's an everyday celebrity. So welcome Mia to the podcast.
Sweet. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing this evening?
Good. It's good to be back in Oakland. I miss it here.
Yeah, you told me before we were recording that you moved.
Yep.
To the bougie place.
Yeah, it's interesting transition. To move from somewhere with like all of the culture you could ever want to somewhere with zero.
Mm-hmm.
But I moved somewhere to go like be peaceful and be kind of like in my solitude, and so it's perfect for that.
What caused the move? I mean, you said it was peaceful. Like what was going on?
I needed to like do a reset. I spent like a good chunk of years in Oakland, and it was amazing, but like myself, I was like kind of getting myself into trouble, and it was like all piling on, and just like it was like too many bad situations after another, and I was like in a pattern, and I was like, okay, I need to switch up everything.
All right, so now I'm very curious. What were you getting in trouble? Like, what were you doing?
I don't know. I just kept having like, and it's all because of just like choices I was making, but just like was having like, bad situations. I was always like trying to get over some weird shit that was like happening to me. Can I cuss or should I not cuss? Some weird whatever that was going on, and like I was just like
trouble with the law, trouble with boys, friends, what?
I was getting in trouble with like the law and trouble with boys. My friends were cool. All of my friends who are out here, I love them still. Don't really see anyone much anymore, but I have like the worst taste in men, and I was like just like dating the same like lunatic after another, and I just had weird stuff happen. I had like someone break into my house while I was out here. I had like guys that I was dating that just were like nuts. I like when I finally moved out of my apartment, I did it like really abruptly, and like because just like too many people knew where I lived, and and I was just like starting to feel low, and I was like wanting to just reset.
Why do you feel you were choosing these crazy men one after the other?
Ooh, I'm still trying to figure like that out now. That's like a part of my I'm trying to like figure stuff out now, because that's another thing. Like while I was out here, like it's a lot of distractions. There's like so much stuff to do, and you never really have to like sit. I never really had to like sit with myself. I was just like out every night. There's so much like call to just like be outside and like doing fun stuff, and like working and like bartending too. It's like you're out, and when you're working, you're drinking, and then you're out and stuff. And so like you never really sit and like reflect on like yourself, or why you do the things you do, or like are all these problems because of me, And so like I'm figuring that out like now. Like, why do I choose like lunatic guys almost exclusively, and like whatever other issues I make for myself.
Were you going to like therapy and shit?
That's on my list. I had some other stuff. I moved, like when I moved out of Oakland, it took me a minute, but I stopped drinking, and that was like a little patch to kind of like Yeah, I stopped drinking for a while.
You don't drink anymore?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
For 6 months, I haven't drank.
Okay.
I started school again.
Mm-hmm.
But too, when you move into a town where you don't really know anyone and you stop drinking, it's a lot of time like sitting with yourself and like.
Yeah. I mean, all you did, you moved like across the bridge.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I'm
not
like
you moved to another fucking state or
I
something.
know, but it's like enough to where like it's inconvenient for people to come visit me. Like even across the bridge, like no one's coming down like I'm just gonna say hi. Like, you know, it's far enough to be inconvenient.
I feel like living in like boring places like that, and I don't even think Marin, you said Marin, right?
Yeah, I
don't even think Marin is that boring because I mean it's just a different type of partying. Like out here, I mean, there's bars and shit in Marin as well. You know what I'm saying? There's restaurants, but it's just a different type of. Like, I don't think there's like a beauty bar in Marin, or a what's that? Ruby room.
Ruby room.
Like
yeah.
you couldn't find a Ruby room in Marin, I don't think. But there's dive bars in Marin. They're just not on the level as.
Yeah, there's no like radio like bar.
There ain't people doing cocaine, like just sitting out in the fucking lobby and shit.
Yeah, like people are doing cocaine, but they got to be like, you know,
yeah,
in different.
They're doing it at their house.
Yeah, yeah, and Marin's like cool because it's like beautiful there. Like there's like, well, it's beautiful here too, and there's like, but there's a lot of nature and stuff. But yeah, there's still a scene, but it's less enticing there than it is here. Like I was living downtown here, and like, you know, you could just walk outside and get into have a whole night.
How long have you been living in Marin?
Almost a year now. Yeah.
Are you originally from the Bay Area?
Yeah. I'm from Sonoma County.
So okay.
Mm-hmm. I like.
How was growing up in Sonoma for you?
It was cool. It was cool. I lived in Petaluma, which is like a little like it's getting bigger now, but it's like a farm town. It was a farm town. It's like chicken and eggs and stuff.
Both parents?
Mm-hmm.
What's your ethnicity?
My mom's Irish. I'm half Irish. And then my dad my grandpa is from Guatemala, and then my grandma's from Nicaragua. So then part Guatemalan and part Nicaraguan.
Okay.
Yep.
So you said both of your parents were in your life, right?
Yeah. I love them. I moved out when I was really young, but like now that I'm older and more mature, we got a good relationship.
Well, were they strict?
No, they like, I was such a shithead when I was a kid. Like they couldn't even be strict because I was like I was like a monster kid. Like I was like the worst. Like I had so much energy, and I was getting kicked out of like every school. Like when I was in junior high, I got kicked out like of like 3 schools, and when I was in high school, I got kicked out of school. Like,
were you getting kicked out for like fighting or something?
No, I didn't really fight people until like high school. Junior high, I don't even know why like the administrative people hated me so much. I was like
oh, you knew.
I just like sassy.
They didn't hate you for no reason.
Dressed bad. I was like a little hoochie 12-year-old, and like bad grades. I didn't care about school. I cared about like smoking weed, drinking, whatever. They're like, she's a bad influence on all the other little 12-year-olds. So I just was.
Were you like fucking with like high school kids when you were 12?
Yeah, I always had like older friends. Yeah, I always had like older friends, just trying to find like where the party was at. From as soon as I was like hitting. Like, 12 or 13, I started just.
You got siblings?
Yeah, I have one older brother.
Yeah, okay. How old is he?
He's 29.
29? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you guys close growing up?
Yeah, we both had our our issues and stuff that we were going through. He he like had some stuff that he was working through, and I like was just a shithead. Like he was more introverted, and I was like crazy and kind of like extroverted, and so like we weren't as close when we were teens. But now he's like my favorite person on the world. He's like the sweetest guy. I just like adore him now. We talk on the phone all the time. He's my favorite.
What type of girl were you in high school?
just like I'm just a bad girl. I was like, in high school, I went to like the little continuation school, and I was just like, yeah, just like raging all the time. Like I didn't care about school. We just like would be out. I like would always like, yeah, just out at parties or whatever. We'd go to like that place in Petaluma, that like music venue that like Sublime died at after he played his last show there, the Phoenix. And there's like this like music venue where all these like Bay Area hip hop artists would come and play at, and we'd always be at those shows and concerts. And like in hindsight, it was kind of weird because we'd be like hanging out, and like there'd be like after parties and stuff with like these with rappers and stuff, and we'd go and we'd be partying like after like the Sheraton in Petaluma. But in hindsight, I was like 15. I was like, dang, those guys are hanging out with like 15-year-olds. And so, yeah, it felt cool at the time, but I was like,
it's always crazy to me when girls, when you ask them about like their high school years, and they were like, oh yeah, we used to fuck with grown ass men. I was 16. I was fucking with a 25-year-old and shit like that. And then when you talk about, and then in the same sentence, they'll be like, oh, I hate like pedophiles and shit like that. I'm like, okay,
record,
well, you were
did not sleep with any of these.
Yeah, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying I've asked women this, and in the same breath, they talk shit about like other pedophiles and shit. But I'm like, you were contributing to this nasty shit.
That's the thing. Like someone said once, they're like, the one with the greater awareness has the greater responsibility in situations too. And so like in like hindsight, you know, when like you're whatever age, 16, like you don't know anything yet. Like when I was like 21, I was so stupid.
Get the fuck out. Yeah. When you were 15, you didn't know that there was something strange about like a grown man chilling with you?
No, I thought it was so cool. I was like, look at these hip hop people. Like they're all like, you know, they have fancy bottles and like champagne, and they have the telly. I was like, I can't even rent a telly yet. I'm too young. And then like it seemed cool. But then you look back at it now and it's like, dang, they were my age, and me now hanging out with like 17-year-olds. That's so weird. Like I would think that's so weird.
Who were these rappers? Anyone famous?
I don't know. I don't think they're famous. I don't want to like put anyone on blast. No, there was cool ones, like the ones that would play there, and people would be around, but they weren't like kicking it, or like E40 would come all the time, and so like I met him a couple times, and he was super cool. And like Roach Giggs. Does anyone remember him? Roach Giggs would always come.
I don't know.
And yeah, they would have like all of these, like Taji Spitz was there. He was one of the tellies. But there was like cool. Burner would come all the time.
I know what that is, yeah.
Yeah, people like that.
You mean you finished high school, right? Mm-hmm. Did you go to college out there?
No. Not really. No. So I was like such like a shithead in high school that like when you're getting out, no one's ever telling you to go to college. Like other kids, they're all like, and then you should start applying to colleges, and like you should be in these after school programs to look good. And like nobody tells you that when you like are doing bad.
Yeah.
They're just like want you to graduate. And so and I was already like moved out by the time I like graduated high school. And so I didn't go to college after, but I'm in college now. What did
you do after high school?
What did I do after high school? I graduated high school, and I was dating this super piece of shit, like this asshole guy. He was like so mentally unstable, and so I was like in a like disturbing relationship after high school, and so that is kind of like a blurry year transition from getting out of high school.
Was it abusive?
Yeah, it was like my first one too.
Physically abusive?
Yeah, all the above. It set the tone. It set a bad tone for all of my choices later on. Yeah, he was a piece of work. He was like older than me. He was a scum. But you know, it taught me like slowly how to get out of stuff like that. Like
How long were you guys together?
We did it for like 2 years, almost 3 years, 2-3 years.
What was the final straw to make you leave?
Oh my God. It was like, well, he was like, oh, he was such a shithead. Like he broke his hand, like hitting the back of my head once. And I like still dated him while he had like a cast on. But the final straw, I remember it was like this big blowout in the Safeway parking lot in Petaluma. And, nobody jumped in and prevented it, but like they were all calling the police and like the police came. And I remember if you get, arrested for beating up like a teenage girl in a Safeway parking lot, the cops are not nice to you. And I remember people called the police and they came and they like hog-tied him and they like threw a spit bag over his head and like threw him in the back of a truck and they took him to jail or the back of a police car. And yeah. And then
did you press charges?
No, I'm like, what the hell? I was like, I'm just gonna get out of here. And so I was like, bounced out. I was like, I'll quit my job at the Papa Murphy's, which is where I was working. And then I got a job in Point Reyes because I was like, no one can find me in Point Reyes. Like, I didn't even know what that town really was. And that's where I started working. And so I like uprooted my life and then like went down to that weird little coastal town in Point Reyes. And I like just worked full time there. And so that's what I really did after high school. I like started working at that restaurant and it was like my first restaurant job and I was a hostess, but I needed money because I wanted to get my own spot. And I was working like so many hours and then I like worked my way up there and I was like became a server and then I became a bartender and the supervisor and eventually I was the general manager there.
So you always had jobs in like the bar food service industry?
Yep.
Okay. So what brought you to Oakland?
I was living in Rohnert Park, which is like another little shitty town. And
you're like a Rolling Stone, aren't you?
And then I just kind of wanted to get out of there. I remember like I just felt like, you know, I get like uneasy and want to like, you know,
it seems like you can't stay in one spot for long. Huh?
Yeah. So I was like, what else is going on? And I was like bartending out in Point Reyes. And I was like, I want to just like see more. And then I just like, because it's like, you know, when you're like single, I have no kids. So I was like, I can move wherever I want. And then I moved to Oakland. I got a spot like right downtown. I loved my spot. It was like right off 17th. And yeah. And so then I just moved to Oakland just because like I wasn't doing anything else.
Okay. So one of the reasons I wanted to sit down with you is music, right? When did you start making music?
Well, I've played the guitar since I was like a kid, like a little kid. And so I've always played the guitar and I've always like been like outgoing, like wanting to like sing in like little public places. Like I did all my talent shows in elementary school, just like singing. My dad had a band. My dad plays the guitar and he's always played the guitar. He had a band. And so he would come with his band and I would sing in the little shows.
So your dad is the one that got you into it?
He bought me a guitar when I was young and I'd watch him. He never showed me guitar, but he would just like play it in front of me. So I had to go figure it out on my own. But I've played guitar forever.
So you never took like actual classes or lessons or anything?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've just always played guitar. And then I like have been writing songs. I've just been like writing for like a long time and they slowly like whatever I was writing turned into songs.
Have you ever put any, I mean, because I see you on social media, you do like little songs and shit, right? Little performances in your rooms or whatever. Have you ever recorded like an album or EP or anything?
No, I've never like put too much focus on turning like music into like something bigger at this point because it's like it's just what I love so much that like I would never want to turn it into something where I'm like trying to make it into like a career and I like have to like try to pump songs out or like anything that would take the joy out of it, because it's like my favorite thing in the world is like writing and playing the guitar, and just like mostly writing songs is my favorite thing in the world. Like, so yeah, I do it like because I love it, and so I haven't taken it to any other level yet.
What do you mostly write about?
I always like, honestly, whenever I'm like going through it or like I'm sad, I'll like write as like as some sort of way to like get the feelings out. And so all my songs kind of turn out to be kind of like bummers, that they're always like about whatever
heartache
I'm going
and pain.
through, and just like a lot of pain. And so like that's what I write about, because it's kind of like, therapeutic, and so it turns all my songs into kind of.
Do you think artists should go through like some type of downfall in order to create good music? Because like, for example, like Taylor Swift, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Taylor Swift has ever went through any like crazy shit, or death in the family, or an abusive relationship, or she was like depressed, like had an eating disorder. I don't think Taylor Swift ever went through some shit like that. So that's why all of her music is all like that old happy-go-lucky white girl. Sun is shining, leaves are brown, that type of shit.
Ooh, okay. I have like a good answer for this, I think. Well, I have a lot of thought that I put into this, because I think there's like two types of like artists in music, and like she's one of them. There's like musicians and singers who are just like talented. Like she can just sing, and she's never been through whatever, but she can hold a tune. And like,
I don't even think she can sing that.
I don't know either. I'm sure she can though. She was like in the mic. I don't know. But there's some artists who they don't have to go through stuff. Like maybe they were just in choir in high school and they came from some little rich town and they have like pipes and they can just sing.
Yeah.
Or so there's artists who are just like natural talents and they don't have to go through whatever. They just are like good at singing and they can like play the guitar and they're just like can get far with that. And then there's some, and I think I fall into this category. Like I don't have like natural like musical talent. Like I'm not like some good singer. If I like can get a good recording of me singing well and not be off pitch, and that is like a blessing, because I am not like some natural singer. And I can play guitar really well, but for someone who's played guitar for like 15 years, like I could be better at that too. But the only like what kind of glues it together is because I have like, some shit to say. So it's like, I think that's like a good form of music too, because it can like, some people can be like, oh yeah, like, or like because of my experiences, I've like can put some like shit together poetically. And so there's two types. There's people who have something to say and like whatever story to tell, and that's nice to listen to. And then there's people who are just good at singing, and that's nice to listen to.
Give me one example of each that you listen to.
Like people who are just
like an artist. Give me an example of an artist of those two examples that you just said that you listen to.
Okay. I'm trying to think of somebody who's just like a good singer. Like, who's popular right now? Because I feel like everyone I listen to is somebody who's just trying to like say some. Oh, okay. So I like there's like that like everyone likes Billie Eilish, right? And she like, I remember I was watching an award show, it was a couple of years ago, and she just won like every award. I was like, dang, she's just like winning every award. And like she, came from like a music thing, and she's just like a good singer. Like I think if you like stripped it down and put her on a microphone, she can like sing well.
Yeah.
And so I think she falls into like that category.
Billie Eilish?
Of being just like a good singer, like not having like,
What?
She doesn't have the troubled past, but she just like is like a technically good at singing.
Yeah, but she writes all her songs though, and they're like depressing songs.
Yeah, but they're
so
all
something's
about,
going on in her fucking head.
I guess I like like, I feel like I saw something about her writing process where like her brother like does a tune and then she just kind of like hums it until like words start coming out. She's like, and then she, whatever.
Okay,
And
I understand
so,
that. Yeah.
And then
So you're saying that she's a good singer, but what she sings about that's not really her life, or what she went through.
well, no, I think she sings about like some boys hurting her feelings too, and that hurts,
Okay. So Billie Eilish. Okay,
I'm not knocking her. Maybe she's been through it. I don't know her background. I was just trying to think of like a popular good singer, and she's like good. And then other people like, I don't know whose background I really like this little hip hop dude from Brooklyn called Coda the Friend. He's like my favorite right now. And he like he has so much to say, and it's like, who knows if the guy is like talented in any musical way, but he's talented.
He's a
like,
rapper.
The way he tells stories. Yeah, he's like a he does like hip hop but he just has so much to say. Like all of his songs are like really like full of content. Like it's just like there's like no like some hip hop artists have like a really catchy hook that like holds the song, and then really like you listen to it and you're like, damn, that was only like 2 short verses, and then you really like wrote out that hook that's catchy for like whatever. And his are like just full of content because he has like so much to say, and he can like put it together in a way that is like musical.
Do you think it's hard? Well, do you struggle to write, or is it easy?
Oh my God, no. I write a song like every day.
So it's easy for you.
There's so much, my brain just like, and it is like disruptive, honestly. Like I like will have other things to do or like need to do homework. And then I'll like think of like these like 2 lines, and then I'll like sit on the floor with my guitar, and then I'll like have to keep going, and then I'll get all like in it. And then I like will sit on my floor for like 2 hours, and I'll be like, dang, I had like other shit to do. But now I'm just like sitting here and I can't get up. And now it's like 4:00 and I was just been on the floor with my guitar, like for what? But I needed like the song to come out. And so
what's your writing process? Do you just do you come up with the words and then come up with like the beat or the guitar or whatever, or do you start playing guitar and then you come up with words based on what you're playing?
Usually like the lyrics come first, and I'll try to like practice like little like ditties or little like on the guitar, like some sort of rhythmic like tune or something, so I have it ready for when like the lyrics come, because it's usually they're separate. I like write guitar separately, and then my writing process always comes like, I never sit down. I'm like, I'm going to write a song. It's always like I'm driving or some inspiration comes. And sometimes from like another song, like someone will like say something and I'm like, huh, yeah. Like, and I'm like, or like, someone will say something and I'll just get inspiration from a random place. And then it'll like tumble into a song. And then I will go home and I'll like try to find like a guitar, like a chord progression that like goes with the song, and then I just like play it over and over again. And then like usually like I'll write a verse and a chorus or something, and like a month later I'll write the next verse.
After you make the song, do you have to like, do you record it right away, or do you just have a bunch of like a notebook full of shit that you just write and haven't even done anything yet?
Yeah, I just have like notebooks full of stuff. And that's why I started posting them on Instagram, because I have all these songs and I write guitar to it, and then I can like sing a whole song I wrote. And then I just like live alone. I've been like very in my solitude this whole year. And I'm like, it's unsatisfying to just like write a song and then write all these like guitar parts to it and then just like play it for like, and no one hears it except for like me, and then like my neighbor who shares a thin wall with me who has to hear all my whatever. But it's so I like started posting it on Instagram just because I'm like, I need a place to put this. Like I need some, like I just need a place to put it. Like I want like anyone else who cares to just like see it. And that's why I was thinking of making like a separate Instagram to just like posts all like songs and like poetry and stuff on, because I don't know if everyone on my current one really cares about that stuff.
You should do it on TikTok.
On TikTok?
Yeah, I think it will go get more views on TikTok.
Oh, really? I don't have a TikTok.
Yeah, that's why you should create one.
Okay.
TikTok is I hated TikTok, and then randomly I just started a TikTok, and then just started putting my like little clips of like podcast interviews, and then I would post a clip right on TikTok, and then like a day will go by, there'll probably be like 12 views, and then I'll check again 2 days later, and there's like 3,000 views.
Oh, sweet.
So like TikTok is weird for some reason like that. Like you'll post some shit, and then out of the blue there'll be like 10,000 people who saw it and shit like that. I was like, God damn.
Maybe I'll do that, because I want like a separate place to just like dump it all, because it's like I don't want to like bombard, like accost all of my poor like Instagram followers. Like my neighbor's mom doesn't want to see like me singing about like jail and like heartbreak and stuff. Like they don't. So
yeah, do you think someone can call themselves an artist if they don't share their art to the world? Like if Bob Dylan, right, never put his music out, just kept it inside, do you think he should call himself an artist?
Yeah, like technically yes, he's still a genius. It's just like,
but how will we know though?
A shade. It's like a tree. If a tree falls, like no one hears it. Did it fall? Wait, what is it? Did it make a noise? Like it's like.
But how will we know though? How will we know Bob Dylan is a genius if we didn't hear his music?
That's the thing. Only Bob Dylan would know that he's a genius.
Exactly.
And then that's sad.
So that means
just, like,
nothing.
Working and that would be like,
I can say I'm the greatest basketball player, but if no one sees me play basketball, is that really my title?
Yeah, no, like, and I guess, well, it's like, but but no one else knows. Like, I don't post all my stuff, whatever, but it doesn't mean that I'm not like an artist to myself, where I'm just like spiraling in my room till 1 a.m. writing a song and like playing the guitar till my fingers bleed.
Do you call yourself an artist?
I like call myself a creative.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm an artist because I make art, but I guess I don't share it. But I write so many poems, and I write so many songs, and I write so much guitar, and that's art, and I create that. So I guess I'm an artist. I'm just a shy one at this moment. But.
You've never performed in front of anyone?
Oh no, I have. I like, but in modest ways, like at like a dive bar, like open mic, or like at a open mic in some weird little town or something.
Has anyone ever approached you like, oh, we need a lead singer for the band?
Well, no, because at the little places I go, like there's like one little saloon out in Point Reyes, and it's like this tiny little saloon dive bar. It's like such a dive bar. And I've done like open mics there, and they like know the songs I wrote, but it's like 7 people, but they're like, play that one song. And like the bartender will be like, Mia, you got to go up and get the crowd. But so it's like, I don't put it out there enough where like, I've like, even really been able to network with other artists or anything. Cause it's just I haven't put it out.
The last song that you wrote, what was it about?
Oh, I wrote this funny song, like, well, it's not funny, it's sad. About it makes me sound a little crazy. I like started writing it because like it was like I got inspiration because like someone was like sitting and they were like telling me about how they started like praying and like it made stuff like happen for them, and they're like, you gotta have faith and like whatever. And then it gave me inspiration for a song because of that conversation. And like the song is like the first hook or the first line. I was like, lately I've been praying, but I'm afraid that it's too late. And then I kind of go off. But then it gets kind of like unhinged, and I start like.
It's a song saying "fuck God."
No, not at all, not at all. I'm just saying that like I think it's too late right now with all the things I've done and seen to like whatever. But and like then I start writing about like the next verse is like I spent the evening in a jail and the next morning in a church because I don't like to learn my lessons until they really start to hurt. But that was because I like slept in a jail cell, and then I had court assigned AA meetings, and so I was in a church the next day, and so I like really was in a cell and then like in a church, and so that's where that line came from. Because I was like, because it had these like, won't get into it, but
these what DUIs?
Yeah, well, I had a little like a little record going because I just could get a little rowdy and it all accumulates. And then when you get in trouble for something, they look back and they're like, oh, you've been in trouble for a couple of things related to this. But now I'm on a good path, not drinking, just minding my business, staying inside.
Drinking, when they say you get drunk, it just brings out what you already are.
Yeah, so
was this the alcohol or was it just really your real behavior?
If well, I'm already have like a lot of energy and can be a little like.
Were you fighting people?
Wild. No, I'm so sweet. I've not fought since like high school. I like I like love girls. Like women, I have like no issues with women. I'm like a girl's girl. Like I make friends with girls quick. I like even like tough girls. Like I love girls and I make friends with them. I don't have any reasons to fight. My beef is with the men. My issues and trauma are with like the guys I've met. And so I don't fight girls. I love girls. Women, they're the best. I'll get drunk and yell at a dude. Like I get mad at men. And so if I drink, like I get mad at.
Have you ever had a man, I don't know, like treat you like with finesse?
Like try to like, hit me with like nice words or something?
Nice words. I don't know, treat you like a.
Every guy comes with
like care and
finesse.
Like.
Oh, like a kind man?
I can't even, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. But a guy who had like game and was like, where you were real smitten over and was like, oh, he's just the sweetest. He touches me and like care, like a flower, treat you like a flower instead of like smacking you in the back of your head in the parking lot.
I don't know if I've ever been treated like a flower, but it's kind of unfortunate because I like had like a rough like few partners at really early on, and so now like later on in dating, like I have like a harder wall up. Like when we fight, I like am ready to. I'm like braced to fight, or like I like lost a little bit of a softness about me too. So I like I'm still like sweet. Like you've met, we know each other, and I'm like not. I'm very nice, and that like so. But I have when in relationships, like I get, cold fast.
You're in a relationship now?
No, I'm trying to like take a break from that too until I like figure out how to pick people. I've made some wild decisions, and so I'm like trying to hone it in for a little bit.
What is a song that whenever you hear it, you start crying? Do you have one?
What is a song that when I hear I start crying? I don't like cry much. So
I mean, when I say cry, you don't have to be like bawling tears, like, but like your eye got water and you're like, oh shit.
What is it like a feeling song? Okay, what gets me in my feelings?
Do you have feelings still?
I'm so full of feeling.
Mm.
Somewhere. What's a song that makes me feel something? I started thinking of a Bob Dylan song. I was like, no, that's just because we were talking about Bob Dylan earlier.
Oh wow.
I don't know. My songs make me sad.
I bet you if I ask what's the song that make you like angry and get hyped up, do you have one?
Ooh, okay. What gets me hyped up?
This is gonna come quick.
Well, I thought I was like some like I thought I was like kind of like punk-ish when I was really, really young. So I still have like some old school like heavy metal music and like some like punk rock music. And so I'll listen to that to get me like hyped up. Like I'll do like some System of a Down or Rage Against the Machine or like something like that.
That whole
to get me going.
2000. What years was that? 2000?
And like songs I go running to. I have such like a vast music taste, and then when you ask me on the spot, I'm like, dang, I can't think of it all right now. But yeah, I don't know.
What genre of music do you enjoy the most?
I really like I listen to a lot of like women who I guess they fall into kind of like an R&B genre. So I like a lot of like R&B type music, or it just like depends. Sometimes I'll be like just like, you know, on some surface level, like wanting to like dance and vibe around my house, and I'll listen to like some just like poppy whatever. And then like when I'm like feeling like I want to like listen to an artist that I respect or something, I listen to like some R&B, or if I can like listen to some lyrics, I like hip hop and like I like
yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What's the best music to work out to you?
I like, well, I'll listen to that like hard like rock metal stuff sometimes if I need to run really fast, or like I'll listen to like, you know, some like hip hop where they're like talking about how they're gonna make it, you know, when they're like talking about whatever.
Some fucking Eminem Lose Yourself type stuff.
No, I can't. Dude, every workout class plays that song. They're like every warm up, it'll be like, all right, ladies, and then all of a sudden it's like palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms.
They play that fucking song for everything.
Yeah, they play that for everything.
You could be cooking and they'll be like, oh shit.
That was my thing. Like when I stopped drinking, like with my music, I was like, I feel like I write like cool songs, like because I'm just like, because I was just like mentally like a disaster and like had all these issues, and I like had cool music come out of it. And I was like, what if I get sober and like my music becomes shit, like how Eminem kind of did, like how he like his songs like the Slim Shady EP were like crazy, and he was like just like nuts, and then it was like how he made it, and then he wrote like Recovery, and like that was like, oh, we're like, that's nice, like that was good music that he wrote, but no one wants to listen to that.
I mean, well, that happens with I think every artist, because you have your whole life to make your first album, right? And you're broke, you don't have money, so the shit that you talk about is like some struggles, some shit that the average person can relate to. You put that album out, boom, you sell 10 million records. Now you're rich as fuck. You're traveling. You're going places you've never been before. You're with people who are billionaires and millionaires. You have the finest clothes, eating the finest foods, diamond jewelry and shit like that. So your second album, you're like, okay, well, I can't talk about the struggle anymore, so I gotta talk about fucking these supermodels and going to Paris and popping bottles, and that music is not going to relate like the first one, because the average person doesn't relate to going to Paris fucking a supermodel.
Totally. Yeah, like Jack Harlow First Class up in this. I was like, but so that actually gives me hope then, because I'm like, my sobriety's not going to thrash my music. I'd have to make it for my music to get stale. And it hasn't too. being like sober, I still am like just as unhinged as I was before. And so
what music do you listen to when you want to relax?
oh my God. Well, I'm always have like these weird, like, I always have like weird background music going at my house of like some weird, like
birds chirping and
I'll do
fireplace.
I'll have like jazz and stuff. No, I always listen to these like lo-fi, like hip hop instrumentals like in the background, and I like real like dorky, like when there's like some like anime like little setting like moving around, and there'll be like some like track going, and it'll be like 6 hours of like this like anime field and like some jazz, and that's always going on in the background. I like always need a little background music.
Are you the type that needs music when you have sex?
No. There's like never.
Are you like listening to Metallica when you're doing a grown up?
No, I feel like there's never music. There's like I feel like this, I don't know, like no, I definitely don't need music because it's like never that like good of a setup where someone's like, let me put on like the record player or whatever. That sounds chill though, but like, no, I feel like I'd be lucky. I would think it's so thoughtful if someone like put on like some playlist or something, like had YouTube on without the ads and like put on something.
You wouldn't find it weird that he has a sex playlist already set up?
Oh, actually, you know,
queued
what?
up.
Now you ruined it for that guy. I would have been like, that's so nice, but now I'm like, why do you have this?
Yeah, why do you have this queued up already on this exact song?
You gotta have no ads though, because you can't have like all of a sudden like while you're having sex.
Yeah,
like, Papa John.
That's where I fuck up at those ads. Like, people ain't gonna pay.
Yeah, you're not gonna pay. Yeah,
I'm not paying to YouTube
but
to play a playlist.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, if someone already has the playlist, that's too much like preemptive. Like,
yeah, the best thing to do is just like pick a artist and then just let YouTube randomly select like Google play Jill Scott or some shit like that, and then you'll have like a whole playlist.
Music during sex is like a delicate thing though, because it depends where you're at with it, because you can't like put on music and then like it's like your first time and they're all singing about like love or like deeply loving you or something, because then you're like, oh no, like
you never said I love you during sex in the first time?
No, safe to say I've not. So I don't know if no, that's never slipped out.
I mean, I wouldn't if someone said that to me, I mean, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't even take it seriously.
Yeah, no,
it's just like you're saying. I feel like people, when they have sex, they just say shit that they don't really mean anyway.
For sure. I learned that at a young age. I'd be like, oh my God, he loves me and he wants to have my babies. And I'm like, no, that's just what they be saying. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you can't take anything people say at that. What's the word? Precoital? Can't take precoital words. Postcoital. Isn't that the technical term for it?
That's a new one for me. I don't even know what the word you're looking for is.
I think that's like, never mind. I'm not going to give definitions, but yeah.
What if you can build your super like artists, right? And take little things from each artist. Like I'll take Whitney Houston's voice, I'll take Chris Brown's dancing skills, I'll take Michael Jackson's style. Like, you understand what I'm saying? If you can build your super artist,
I'll keep Chris Brown's dancing skills.
Okay.
With them.
But will this be a boy or girl artist?
I think it's gonna be a girl.
Okay.
And then I would take like Jessie Reyes' confidence. And I would do like I would have like her being acoustic. And then I would have like what else do I like? I guess I would want like, yeah, Jessie Reyes' confident singing it, and then like hers like playing the guitar. Maybe I'd want Jessie Reyes' like aesthetic of singing it, but then it's like her doing like an acoustic vocals of it, and then like
You're talking about her, the singer?
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, confusing name.
Mm.
And then I like Coda the Friend, that guy that I like, the Brooklyn hip hop dude writing the lyrics.
Mm.
And then I'd want Drake's jokes.
Drake's jokes.
I was like realizing
His sense of humor.
Well, yeah, his sense of humor would be fun to hang out with. And who else? I feel like I can be doing such a better job with this, but these are the people who are coming into my brain. And yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I've just been doing a lot of like Jessie Reyes. I have a new appreciation for. I think like Drake's funny. Speaking of Chris Brown's dance moves, and I was like watching the video. What is the song? And it was like it's like a Drake song, like super old.
With him and Chris Brown.
With him and Chris Brown, they do like the dance off. Have you seen that video?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he's funny. That's why I like him. He like doesn't take himself.
Yeah,
seriously.
He's a good ass artist.
Yeah, he's just like funny. Yeah, and I feel like being fun to be around like definitely is a helpful skill to have when you're like building anything.
Mm. Mm-hmm. What type of artist do you want to be? Are you happy with the way you are now? That's what I'm asking.
I guess if I was going to be an artist, like I'd want it to just like stay really simple. I would love like a bigger platform to like keep doing like just something really simple. Like I wouldn't want it to like, you know, snowball into like any sort of like anything extra. I just like it's all about like the words for me, and I think I'm just like more of a fan of like just like words are like my favorite thing, and like writing and like poetry, and like I just like love words. Like reading, I like read so many books, like watch my shows with subtitles. I like listen to podcasts, listen to books, read poetry books, write poetry, write whatever, write songs. And that's like what it's all about, is like what people are saying and what you're trying to say, and that's like what's important to me. So I like would want like the art to just focus on the words and not have anything extra that like takes away from that.
Do you have an artist that you get inspiration from?
I'm like trying to be better at well, I've thought about being better of like going deeper into like the artist and like just listening to an album in full, like how they're meant to be listened to. But it's like I just like am always just like one song from this guy and one song from this guy and one song, because I'm just like always trying to find.
That's your generation. You guys have short attention spans.
That is the trouble with it. Like I was like listening to this article about how people don't even like take in large like amounts of information anymore. Like nobody has the capacity to just like read a full article. Like it has to be like if you need to get a point across, like
you have to get your point across within 5 seconds.
Yeah, you have to put like a big bold statement with like, you know, has to be like in a list or something like really digestible. And I've even thought that like with like I've written songs and like I feel like all like the verse leading up to this is like so interesting, but I'm like nobody else is going to get to the chorus if the verse is so long. It has to be like 30 seconds that like into the punchline and then done, because that's all people can really digest, and that's cool, you know, if everyone wants to.
Why do you think that is now? Because it's too much information?
No, it's just because of like social media, and we all just like want to like something to make us laugh in 30 seconds and to keep scrolling on to stuff. And, which it sucks. It's all very short form entertainment when it's like, you know, so you got to keep exercising your brain and reading books and full articles and stuff and like watching full movies.
Do you think music was better back then? Because people, when I say back then, I'm talking about like, I don't know, probably before, like the 90s, the 80s, shit, the 70s, the 60s? Do you think music was better back then because people took, like, if someone would to make an album, they wouldn't make another album for another like 1 or 2 years because they'll spend all that time working on it, try to perfect it. And then now, like, people will put out an album, 6 months later they'll put out another one, and in between that time they'll put out like random songs and shit like that. So do you think music was better back then because of that, or no? Or do you think it's better now?
I think that it depends how hard you're looking for it to be good, because like, you know, what's on the charts now is like, some stuff is totally cool, and like, I just think back in the day music was good because it's like, it was more like raw. There was like less you know, stuff to like, there's less filler. It was just like, people don't write songs about what they used to write songs about. Like there's just like the creativity was different back then. And so like, you'll never be able to like, we'll just never have that type of music again. Like the music that used to come out back in the day was like special, and it was special for the time, and there was just like different like amenities and musical like, you know, equipment. And so I think it was like, it's not better or worse now or then, but it was really special back then. And like the things people said was like, what they'd write about was like so unique and classic. And I think that that's special. But you know, there's like really cool artists now. And so if you take the time to find them in the genre that works for you, I think it's also cool now.
What will people put you in? What like genre?
I guess like singer-songwriter is a genre in itself. Isn't, I think if you like go on Spotify, like, you know, a girl with like an acoustic guitar and just like writing songs. So I'm not sure. I like, yeah, just kind of like, I don't know. I take inspiration from like, it would be like kind of like a folky R&B mix on the acoustic guitar. Everything's acoustic. I don't have an electric guitar. So,
do you have any like songs out now that people can hear? Like, do you have a SoundCloud with like some of your songs?
No, again, I've kept it very like.
So you've never recorded anything?
Oh my God, no! I did record when I was like younger, some like crazy ass songs, but I didn't put them out, and I'm glad I didn't put them out because I was saying too much on them. You know, no, but you gave me a good idea with TikTok instead of the second Instagram, so maybe I'll put it out a little more. But
do you want to like go into a studio and record songs, or that doesn't entice you?
Yeah, no, I would like I would totally do that. Like that sounds awesome. It's just like I've been trying to like grow my career in other paths, and I just like wouldn't want to put everything into music because I wouldn't want it to like take any joy out of it. Like I don't want to be like, I have to write this song, and then it's like I put all this into it and then people don't like it. It like hurts me, and like, you know, and like putting all my eggs into this basket of something that I love. It like I would never want any joy to get taken out of it, because when I'm at like my bottom, like writing music is like what helps me get through it. And so if that became something unenjoyable, then I would have to just die.
Are you are you scared of I guess like rejection? Like if you put a song out and someone's like, "Oh, this is trash."
No, not that.
You'll cry and give up and won't write a song again?
No, not that either. Because it's like, whatever. Like people, I'm not going to get offended if somebody doesn't like whatever. But it's just that I don't want to I don't want to try to like grow my career into music and then have like, because when you start working for something, it can take like the joy out of it. And so I would rather have like my career grow in a different way and have like music always be like a hobby that's like authentic to me and that I get to like just like keep, and it stays sacred and like unique and precious, and like nobody ever has any like sway on how I do it, or I never have like a deadline of having to like write something. Like I always get to write my songs when I'm sad, and then I like put them out when I'm ready, and I don't have to put any pressure on myself in regards to it. It like will always stay therapeutic and special. And then if I have a job that's stressful or something, then that's like, you know, where it can go in my little like safe space. I just want to keep it safe, you know. I don't want to like yeah, because it's like if you love basketball and then you're like a basketball player, that's awesome. But then it's like, you know, your whole life becomes trying to be the best basketball player ever, and not about just like playing basketball.
And at some point, you're gonna have to step on the court with someone else and play against them.
Yeah, and it's like
you can't keep playing by yourself. You gotta go out. You gotta go to the gym with everybody else and get on that court.
Yeah,
I'll play some 5-on-5.
And I'm gonna start putting my stuff out there more because I have so much of it, and I have so much more like, you know, now that I'm not out all the time, I like all I'm kind of doing is like in my house working on stuff and all different. So I'll probably start like just making it more out there. But I'm not gonna like give up on all my other stuff to try to be like a singer.
Are you the type that doesn't go out because, well, can you go out without drinking? You say you don't drink anymore, so I'm assuming you say you don't go out either. You can't go out without drinking?
No, I guess I can go out without drinking. I've just been like I've just been really isolating lately and just like working on stuff. But no, I'll go out and I can go out without drinking, and I like doing like other stuff too. And I like still try to like be social, and I can hang. But yeah, I'm just working on like, you know, I'm in school full time and I'm working on full time, and I'm trying to make the bar program dope at where I work, and I'm trying to like keep straight A's in my classes, and I'm like writing songs all the time and like writing poetry, and I'm working on this. I'm studying like health and wellness, and I'm getting my personal training thing all set up too. And so like I'm just always like I have all these little projects that I'm like trying to work on at home, so I'm always like trying to just stay focused, like you know, because I spent a lot of time just out causing trouble and like, you know.
What do you plan on doing after you finish school?
Well, when I first started, I was like focused on health and wellness and fitness, and like I wanted to like, I'm almost done again with my personal training certification, so I can just like teach classes as like a little side hustle while I finish school, and then I'll have a bachelor's in health and wellness. And at first I wanted to like work in health and do something along those lines, but now it's kind of shifting. And I think when I finish my bachelor's, I'll apply to master's programs in some sort of psychology program.
That's dope.
So that's my goal now. I'm just like I feel like I'm like trying to make up for lost time, and I have like just a bunch of things that I'm like working really hard on now from all the time I spent fucking off. And like
I mean, well, everyone fucks off when they're young. Would you change, if you can go back in time, would you change your life, or what would you change, if anything?
Oh my God, nothing. Like even this last year was like totally fucked, and I like got like, you know, I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change any arrests or any of the weird shit I did or any of the dumb guys I dated. I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't be exactly where I am today. And I, you know, whatever I was going through at the time felt like awful while I was going through it. But then it's like now that I'm like through it, like I've done some weird stuff and crazy things. And it's like nice that I'm, you know, still here to talk about it.
Yeah. I always say, would you rather go through all that crazy shit at a young age and learn from it and then be older? Or would you be young and not go through anything, and then when you're older, start doing crazy shit? I'd rather go through that shit at a young age.
I'd rather go through it too, because you are in my older, like having known, I wouldn't know the knowledge. I don't want to be old and like, you know, having to learn the lessons I learned then. I don't want to be old in jail. I don't want to, you know. So I'm glad that I like learned it all now, and that's why like I'm excited to be like, you know, because I'm still young and I like know what I know, and I'm kind of excited to see, you know, if things can swing so hard the other way and be so crazy. Like I just wonder like what things are going to be like now that I'm trying to like make them not crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, Mia, thank you for coming on Everyday Celebrity Podcast, talking about your life, giving some young woman out there motivation to do what you don't do. And that's release their art, but hopefully we'll get that in the future. I would say ask you to tell the people where they can hear your shit, but I mean, if you want to promote anything right now or give out your social media so people can find you and follow you on your little journey.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, hopefully I'll have a better platform for it soon, but my Instagram is just my name, Mia Quezadaa, with 2 A's at the end.
No one's gonna know how to spell
that. Mia,
M-I-A. Russian?
Yeah, Quezadaa, Quezadaa, and then another A for my Instagram handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Any last words?
If you do dumb shit, just like make sure you take the lesson from it. Otherwise, you're just doing dumb shit to do it. Thanks for having me here.
This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast, and we are out. You.